Hello, welcome to today's video, which is how do I find an off-market property? Now in the UK, many investors look at trying to find the best possible property opportunities, and there's loads of those on the market, but there are certainly opportunities what's classed as off-market. And in today's video, we're going to try and cover not only the locations you can find off-market properties, but the types of properties you might find, and also why maybe even to consider off-market opportunities. So first of all, what is an off-market property? Well, the clue in an instance is kind of in the name. It's usually a property that isn't on the market in any way, shape or form. So it's not on the mainstream property portals. It's not in your mainstream kind of high street agents. It's not going to an auction. You can't find it in the traditional methods. Usually it's by going directly to the seller. And for it to be a true off-market property, it would be limited in the number of people that might be exposed to it and that might actually know it's available. So who sells off-market properties? Well, you might find a developer or an agent even sometimes selling an off-market property, but it's rarer. You would usually find a property seller that has that property themselves, maybe a homeowner, or even a landlord that's looking to sell that property, typically a one-off property that they want to sell fast or privately for some particular reason. It doesn't mean there's a problem with the property. It could be a very good location, could be a very good property. There's just a very particular or typical kind of want or need from that seller to achieve a quick private sale. Now, we touched on agents and we touched on kind of developers that might sell off-market opportunities as well. But for it to be truly off-market, you wouldn't see those agents and those developers selling them on portals. So the first place that we'd usually recommend to maybe look at finding these off-market opportunities, and before we kind of touch on that, is the reasons why. Usually these off-market opportunities can present a very good property that other buyers haven't found. So maybe you can buy it at a fantastic price. Maybe it's the perfect condition or the perfect tenant profile or the perfect location for you. It ticks all your boxes, but because of the lack of interest from other buyers, you can buy it typically with terms that are more favorable for yourself. And that's usually why people can prefer off-market or like the idea of off-market opportunities. So how do you find them? Agents, developers, why they would kind of list and where they list. So as we said, they don't list them on the mainstream portals. You're not going to find them on Rightmove or Zoopla or some of the other property portals out there. Now, some of those agents have very close relationships with a seller and also maybe a property developer. And it might be that that property or a property comes available off market within a very short window of time. So maybe it's available just on Monday for 24 hours if they can find a buyer that fits their requirements. So building up those relationships with those agents is critical to finding off-market opportunities. It's not like you're going to be able to kind of log on to a platform in some way and just see a whole list of opportunities, because very often that would then mean that it's on market, the same as any other property opportunity. If every single buyer can do the same, it reduces its likelihood of being off market. So you do need to build up some personal relationships. You do need to find agents that you can build up that conversation with and let them know you're available to move fast if you do find that particular off-market opportunity. The second way is with word of mouth. So friends or family or anybody within your circle of network that might have a property that they want to sell privately for some reason would usually lean on their contacts to consider a private sale first, rather than going out there to the whole of the open market. And that's difficult to replicate. If you have a particular kind of circle of friends or family or contacts, you might not be exposed to regular off-market deals. So that typically means that you would fall back in the first camp and try and build that network, try and build those relationships with your agents and with potential ways to get introduced to those opportunities. The third way is to advertise for those opportunities yourselves directly to sellers. So trying to get your message and your brand and your company and your ability to buy off-market properties in front of those sellers before maybe they've even thought about or yet got to a position where they're considering and actually listing their property for sale. Now, that's going to require some time and some effort and some funds, but you can do newspaper adverts, leaflet drops, You can advertise on websites and on social networks of your business and what you're looking to try and kind of buy. So there are ways that you can get directly to those sellers with that model. And the fourth option that we usually see investors looking at is not just building relationships with agents, but also doing kind of for sale by owner type websites where they will go to sites like Gumtree. You'll see properties listed for sale and you can directly contact that seller. So rather than going via an agent, you can directly contact the seller for that property. But personally, I'd say that that's not really off market. It's usually on market because buyers again can see that same property. It's just going directly to the seller in this instance, but it's still listed in kind of an open portal that anybody can try and find. So for sale by owner type websites, although they do have opportunities, and you can for sure go directly to those sellers, I'd say they're limited in terms of the scope of those off-market opportunities. So personal relationships, marketing directly yourselves, and then also going to potentially these kind of for sale by owner type websites like Gumtree to contact those sellers directly are usually the ways that we see people going down that road. Now, if you're looking for introductions, hopefully we can kind of help you there. We've spent many years in the property industry working with different types of developers, agents, and sellers directly and understanding kind of how that market fits. And there's a couple of main partners that we work with in that space that do have genuine off-market opportunities. When they're genuinely off-market, they do go fast, so it's worth contacting us and our partner agents when you're in a position you feel like you are kind of ready to buy, so you have the ability to make a decision when those opportunities come available. But if you are looking for those types of properties, let me know. Happy to help and introduce you to the partners that we work with. Hopefully that helps answer your question for you. I look forward to catching up with you soon. All the best. Bye.